any day of the week. If I see a black man with a white woman, I'm like, that's that deep ass self-hate, my nigga. You need to do something about that, right?
If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
When I find out a black man has a white wife or a white girlfriend, my entire perspective about them changes. And at the top of the list, I can't take them seriously because they don't take their life seriously.
But it's okay for a black woman to date a white man. Man, y'all tripping. Like, why people just can't date in peace? Who gives a damn what color a person is that they date? Like, y'all always want to try to play in somebody's face, but it's always black women on this internet and everywhere else down talking black men. I don't give a damn who he date. He can go date a pink or a purple person. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. As long as them people happy, why do y'all give a damn? Y'all be so mad that he dating a white woman, but if he wasn't dating her, you wouldn't be the woman that he date. Look at you, talking shit about him for no goddamn reason. Y'all the ones need to grow up, because y'all childish as hell.
There is a look to black men who only date white women.
Hit the button.
Mm-hmm. And I find that those relationships are problematic because there's a lot of white women who like black men, but they don't like black women. And they find black men who also feel the same way about black women. And so their relationships are the, unhealthy kind, are the kind that...
Wow. Congratulations. You have had your melanin snatched. Your melanin has been snatched, and you can go head over to the Ice Kingdom. We no longer need you.
I just wish we wouldn't give up on black men. And this is also coming from a woman that's not currently dating. But I could only see myself dating a black man. Let's keep it 100. Like, and don't get me wrong, I've been through a lot, with dealing with black men too. Like, but at the same time, I feel like dating outside my race or dating a white man, it don't align with me.
I'm not a gatekeeper, so black women, I'm going to share 3 things with you that you need to know if you decide that you want to date a white man. Number 1, he's a white man. You're not going to stop being a white man. What does that mean? He may be out of touch with reality to your world, the things that you experience, your feelings and views about different things, because he's a white man. You can't want that without getting the other stuff. It don't work like that because he's a white man. He may have a problem taking accountability. Come on. Because he's a white man, living in a white man world that he's been in for his entire life now. He hasn't had to take accountability. He may not even have had to apologize. He's a white man. Guess what? He can learn with the right teacher. If you are the type that says, this is why I don't want to date a white man, I don't want to educate him about my blackness, you know what? That's fine. But don't date one. He may, or more than likely, be uneducated in the dealings and affairs and adversities. Anybody that's non-white, he's a white man. It's not going to change, baby. Don't waste your time. Don't date one. Because really, if you think about it, anytime that you meet somebody new, you're constantly sending them data and information and educating them on how to treat you, how to interact with you, how to learn you, what you like, what you don't like. You're educating everybody. I mean, you may as well educate the one that's going to treat you right.
I say any day of the week. If I see a black man with a white woman, I'm like, that's that deep ass self-hate, my nigga. You need to do something about that, right?
If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
When I find out a black man has a white wife or a white girlfriend, my entire perspective about them changes. And at the top of the list, I can't take them seriously because they don't take their life seriously.
Am I crazy for saying I will not date a black man that dates white women? And I'm not saying like you can have never dated a white woman. I'm just saying if you continuously date white women more than you date black women, I don't want to date you.
I feel about interracial.
White women, if they date a black man, dead wrong. But if a black woman find her a rich white man, right on, sister.
Talk about this double standard, man, and I was hearing somebody kind of talk about it. It's kind of one of the double standards that when I kind of think about, when women kind of talking about this double standards for men and women, and they always harp on the double standards for, the benefit, that men benefit from, but they don't really look at the double standards that they benefit from, right? They never bring it up. But, one of the double standards is their ability to, date out, but, but black men can't date out. You know, that's the wild thing about it. They can date out, but we can't date out. And I told y'all, I used to date a girl, you know, a while ago. And her whole thing was, you know, I don't really like black men with white girls, but I like black, or I don't mind seeing black women with white men. And I'm telling y'all, that's how they think, man. And I've been saying this for a long time now. If black guys knew how much black women punched on Brad, you know, dude, there would be no more race loyalty. Brothers will look at, you know, Keisha's in a whole different light. The difference is brothers have the right to marriage, women have access to sex. If you know how easy that most black women sleep with most non-black men, you know, all those signals that you say black women should be giving, they should be smiling, you know, they should be more inviting, they should shoot their shot first, you know, they should, you know, let it be known that when it comes to like non-black dudes and Brad, they do that. All the choosing signals, you know, all that stuff, I'm not chasing a man, I'm not shooting my shot, all that go out the window. They paying for Brad's meals, they paying Brad's bills, you know. But when it comes to us, we get Nathan. I remember one night we was coming back from the club. I was probably like 19, 20. And then some of the dudes from the hood, they was coming from somewhere else. And they were coming from somewhere else. And we was at the same Coney Island together. I'm from Detroit, for y'all don't know. And we like, damn, it was good. They had a car full of hoes. So we like, damn, you know, y'all had a good night. They like, yeah, you know. And they like, you know, they trying to get all the orders together. Remember, the girls are in the car, bro. They in the next car. And this nigga, I'll never forget this nigga named Man. He said, these hoes get nothing. I swear to God, nothing. He was like, not a chili fry, a chili dog. The hoes is in the car. They get the food, right? Get the hoes, nothing, Nathan. And the hoes still proceeded to go back and smash. Now, I don't know if they smash. I presume they smashed. You know? And I'm telling you, bro, when you in this shit, man, and you really see when women really like dudes, what they put up with, you don't have to walk on eggshells, bro. And that's the same way they make it easy for Pookie. It's the same way they make it easy for Brad and Enrique and Julio and Lee. Yes. It's been a double standard, bro. Look, real talk, behind your back, Brad owns most of black women, bro. And you ever notice then Brad, you know, and dudes who know this, dudes who know how the game go, they know this, bro. You notice when Brad, you know, do his family, build his family with Becky go her separate way. Usually Becky don't get nobody really else. Becky don't get another dude. We all know that Becky don't get another dude. She don't. You know? She might, you know, play around here or there. But when Brad build his family and him and Becky divorce, what do Brad go do? Brad go get a Asian woman, a black woman, knock her up and, you know, or not knock her up, but knock her down. Excuse me. Knock her down and that's it. He just, you know, ride off into the sunset and they knock him down. I'm telling y'all, you know, when you go out into, you know, certain neighborhoods, you'll see Brad to just be like, he'll just let Becky have a house. He'll get an apartment or another little spot. And he'll have a little, he don't even have no rotation. He'll have a little, you know, Vietnamese, Thai chick, Chinese, Korean chick, a black chick. I mark my words. And they'll rock out. But it's a huge double standard for brothers to deal with Becky, because the issue is this. Black women know how much black women, even if it's not them, value white dudes. But white dudes just sneak and beat it up or sneak and F them and, you know, lead them to be single mothers. They are going to put a black man on child support 10 times faster than they're going to put a Brad on child support. And that's something else that need to be said. And they be mad that Brad won't commit to them, right? And that's one thing you got to respect about the divestors is the honesty. Even though the divestors will sit there and stand on being with Brad, right? You know, they still sleep with black men. That's the wild thing about it, though. They still sleep with brothers. But it's jealousy because you get with Becky. They don't want to see you. Most black women out here like that don't want to see you happy. So if you happy with Becky, that irks their soul, right? If you marry Becky, that irks their soul. Because it's not that a good black man is taking his productivity and his wealth to another community. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into that. It's not that. Because that same good black man, all black women had to do is the bare minimum to get him. Be nice, be sweet, shoot your shot, reciprocate a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not being asked a lot to do that. Okay? So that's the wild thing about it. And when they see you go do that, it's just that we can't stand y'all. We don't fuck with y'all. We don't want to see y'all happy. If we not making y'all miserable, we don't want to see y'all happy. Simple as that. Because y'all can do it and we can't do it. You ever notice that when women get defeated in these arguments on these panels, it always bounces. It always they final card, instead of saying I lost or are you right, is a man, but a man do it. So think about that on that scale where they be like, well, why do they get to do it and I can't do it? No, they never get mad at Brad for not committing to them and marrying them. Brad will not marry them. Brad will have a family with their Beckys and go back to Maria, go back to Keisha, go back to Ling Ling and just use them and bust them down. And guess what? They ain't paying no extravagant. They ain't putting them in Louis bags or Gucci bags. They not putting them in Fendi. They not having them, they ain't even putting them in the Toyota 4Runner. They ain't doing nothing but dicking them down. And they can talk all about how they feel Brad is better. If you go to the other side of the internet, you will hear Becky complaining about Brad. And I just heard somebody say BG Itmore. I always mess his name up. No disrespect. He said something on April 15th show. He said something. He said, I forget the exact quote that he said, but he said that racism is because somebody said racism was because black women couldn't be what or white men couldn't, publicly or really be with their black concubines. And he was saying that back in the day, a lot of brothers were sent to the upper room because Brad was sharing his Keisha with a black man and didn't like it. And I said, damn, that's deep. But I wasn't aware, honestly, until I really thought about it. I wasn't aware of how much they desire white men or non-black men. Because to be honest with you, it was always indoctrinated to us in the black community by males and females. It was always shame for a black man to date out. Right? It was always shame. From the men to the women. It was always shame. The women to be like, you got your, you got to see, you got your strong sister yet and all that. Like they indoctrinated us knowing that they taught the women to go out there and get non-blacks. Kobe said that, man. When Kobe said that shit to me some years ago, it was profound. He said his mother told his his daughter to go get a white man. And it's just like, bro, that while they telling you, indoctrinating y'all to stay race loyal to the community, they're telling, a lot of them are telling their daughters to go to the other side. So think about why you have a community of men, of black men, that every day they complain about. Y'all did that. They indoctrinated these men to be race loyal, but told the women to go elsewhere. And you don't see the imbalance. You don't see why men are not in the community. Why black men left the community. There ain't too many real black men there in that community. It's crazy, bro. And then when you really think about it, it's wild. But at less than a 5% clip, they married a white man. That's the highest clip interracially, I believe, right? But, but when you look at it, they never have issue with them. When Angel Reese, Brad was going at her and her thing, she never took smoke for them. She told black women to divest to be with them. The whole thing with the influencer chick who got sent to the upper room, I ain't speaking on that for real. They told her, they never had smoke for that Brad. Nobody asked for him to be arrested. When Brad play in their face, when Brad put hands on them, when Brad sent them to the upper room, there's never nothing they never have smoke for them. Watch. They have smoke if Becky say something that's borderline racist. Or that's right. They have some smoke for Becky. But notice, black women never have smoke for Brad, even when he sent one of their own to the upper room. That should let you know they value Brad. A lot of them value Brad over you. They just settle for you. And that's why a lot of them be so upset, so irritated. And it's a lot of black women that love black men. Let's not get it twisted. But you know the ones I'm talking about, the divestors and the secret divestors. If black women was the most desired, I'm going to tell you this real, let me end off on this. If black women was the most desired, I think they wouldn't even, I think the majority of them wouldn't even look our way. I'm out. The majority of them wouldn't even look our way. We're the most sexually desired on the market, and we still prefer to marry black women. The only reason that rate is dropping is because of their behavior in the internet. It took the wool out of niggas' eyes. But hey, y'all know I'm for black relationships, but we got to keep it a bean. Hit the link in the description. Say join the Patreon. I appreciate it if y'all do. Free for 7 days. Peace.